All right, well, let's move on and talk about crypto losses increased 66% in 2024. Well, at first you're saying, wait, I thought Bitcoin was increasing in value. So what are you guys talking about? While this is true, you have to remember Bitcoin is only one of many thousands of cryptocurrencies available. There's so many out there. There's so many pitfalls that people can fall into when it comes to cryptocurrency investing.
Well, and also too, it's not even there's so many thousands out there, but I think thousands continue to be created is the other problem. So they're constantly coming online, and you got to be able to, I guess, dig through the noise and not get scammed because there's a lot out there.
You know, it's funny you talk about thousands and thousands being created. One thing that makes prices go up is the shortage with high demand. Well, if you keep creating all these cryptocurrencies, where's the shortage?
Well, Bitcoin's different.
Oh, that's right.
And being facetious, of course. And I got I don't want to say an argument, but I had a discussion with somebody the other week, and they're like, oh, no, it's different. And I was like, I mean, ultimately, not really. I mean, what makes, and people are going to be like, oh, yeah, see, you guys don't get it. But what really makes Bitcoin versus Dogecoin that much different other than Bitcoin was kind of a first mover in the space?
Right. And again, when they say it's different, you don't get it. Tell me, what am I not getting? Give me a financial explanation of why Bitcoin is doing what it's doing.
Yeah, there's not much to it.
Yeah.
So, and the problem here is, again, Bitcoin people still get scammed on because they get stolen money from. But in terms of, people losing money in fake cryptocurrencies, that's also growing. And the cryptocurrency space, I mean, I'm going to say devastating. According to the FBI in 2024, there was 149,686 complaints for total losses of $9.3 billion. The problem here is as well, you have people all across the world that are using these cryptocurrencies to scam people. I mean, it's atrocious in my mind.
And what actually happens that you might do well with Bitcoin. Oh, I'm going to try this one. I'm going to try that one. You drop your guard of everything else, and that's how. Again, that's nearly 150,000 complaints in 1 year, and not a lot of people don't have cryptocurrency, so it's just getting crazy here. And what I was surprised about to learn that people over 60 years old, more in my age bracket, I thought they knew better not to gamble, but with cryptocurrencies, that was a group that lost the most. Nearly 1/3, about $3 billion, people over 60. But again, they're getting scammed because there's some, I hate to say it, some good scammers out there that can sell you, beachfront property in Arizona.
Yeah, I mean, I know you said you're surprised. I'm really not surprised that group was actually scammed the hardest. Yeah, probably here in this case. I mean, because when you look at it, my age group, I don't do this, but my age group, they know about the ETFs, they know about the digital wallets, and they know how to actually, I'm going to say, buy cryptocurrency, where the older generation's like, I heard my grandson tell me about Bitcoin and they made all this money, and this person comes to sell me about cryptocurrencies. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. And then you get screwed over. And I think that is why the older generation is getting scammed, is because they hear this pie in the sky idea and how their younger, cohorts, so to speak, made money off of it.
And that's a great explanation, because I've heard that happening. Well, my grandson told me about this, so I guess it's good. He's pretty smart.
And he's smart because he made money in Bitcoin, not necessarily because he knew why he made money in Bitcoin. And it's just such a dangerous thing in my mind.
Yes.
And I also wasn't necessarily surprised about this, but California, Texas, Florida, that's where the most complaints came from, with a cumulative loss of, again, about that $3 billion level. Obviously not surprised by that, because those are the largest states here in the country. But Mississippi was actually the largest impacted on a per capita basis, as the number of crypto scams per thousand was the highest at 42.1. So again, Mississippi, unfortunately, they're taking the crown as being, I'm going to say, the most uneducated in the crypto space.
Yeah, I was surprised by that, but put it that way, I guess not so much. And I tried to compare this to give people, like, what does that mean? Is that a lot? Is that a little? 150,000 complaints? So what I did, the best we can do, because the FBI does not oversee equity markets. That's done by the SEC. So there's a far higher number of equity investors with larger dollars in stocks. The SEC reported nationwide just 583 enforcement actions for stock scams or stock complaints in 2024. So 500, we'll call it 580, versus 19,000.
Oh, not 19,000.
150,000. 150,000. I mean, that is such a wide variance. And these complaints, they include a lot of things. Charges against advisors for untrue or unsubstantiated statements. It's just, I really thought that number was going to be higher. and I double checked it, like 583 in 2024. That's not very many when you think of the number of people in mutual funds, ETFs, stocks, bonds. I mean, that's all those investors. 583 versus 150,000.
Yeah, and I mean also too the interesting thing I look at was the new, I'm going to say, issue here is AI washing, which charges firms for making false or misleading statements about their use of artificial intelligence. This is something I'm sure advisors are saying, like, yeah, we do AI, and they kind of pull people in. And it's like, no, you don't. I'm guessing that's what's kind of leading to it, but this all kind of culminates in, I'd say, a big problem that we're seeing is the froth in the market and people wanting to hear these, I'm going to say, risky things be true. And I think they're falling for it. And again, they're seeing that, oh, you do AI? Yeah, I'll do that with you. Oh, you do cryptocurrency? Yeah, I'll do that with you. And it's leading to more and more scams, more and more, I'm going to say, over-promising and under-delivering from advisors that are just trying to get business. I think this report, this news, it again just shows, I'm going to say, a lot of problems in the markets, a lot of problems with assets as a whole. I mean, frankly, everything's just gotten so crazy expensive across, I'm going to say, precious metals, across cryptocurrencies, across real estate, across stocks. I mean, it's a dangerous market out there.
And also, too, with new technology comes new terms like AI washing.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's out there. And again, I want to warn people. When you invest in cryptocurrencies, not only are you taking on a higher market risk, because who knows what direction it's going to go. And people say, oh, yeah, I know. And they don't know. So you don't know that. Now you're taking on the risk of also being ripped off as well. So your chances of success are very, very low. And I do know people personally got ripped off. They go, I thought everything was great. I did the cryptocurrency and I thought it was fine. I found out I didn't have any cryptocurrency. I mean, there's so many scams out there. And you just don't know because you can't talk to somebody. You can't touch it. You can't see it. It's all done in the cloud, in the space, in the air. And it's so many things wrong with cryptocurrency.
Well, I think a lot of the issue still revolves around regulatory framework. And again, I'm not super pro regulations in many times, but, big thing is, the way we invest now, when you buy stocks, is all done digitally through Charles Schwab, but you have that protection at Charles Schwab.
Right.
You can't really, I mean, it's kind of like years ago with Jordan Belfort and the Wolf of Wall Street that was selling penny stocks. And before, I'm going to say, there was more regulation over the top of it. I mean, we're kind of now in that stage, I think, with cryptocurrencies. There's so much less regulation in the space that there's so much more room for scams, for, people to be bad actors. And it, again, is another reason I'd say stay far away from it. Again, during Jordan Belfort's time, why would you have gone near penny stocks? It made no sense. But it's chasing these returns that, people are jealous of, essentially.
And you remember the billionaire who, I think at one point he's worth like $25 billion. I think his name was like Sam Bachman or something. Remember he had that whole cryptocurrency thing and it all collapsed and he went to jail. I can't.
Well, it was,
I know the audience
where,
knows.
yeah,
right.
Is it not Binance, but the other one?
Yeah, but again, that was a huge scam.
It was like Friedman or something, because I remember it was like Sam Friedman or
yeah, something like that. But anyway, another big scam. I think there's probably another one coming up here in the future.